I was off and now I'm on. I used to be lost, but now I'm found, 'cause God got me now. And yeah, I fall down, but he won't let me drown. And yeah, I fall down, but he won't let me drown. No, he won't let me drown. No, he won't let me drown.
Hello, and welcome to Battleborn Believers. Tonight, I'm going to talk about an experience I had. It started with an encounter, and then it turned into a vision. So I'm on my way to New York, but I need to go to Kansas City on my way there, and I'm driving from Denver. So I'm halfway through the state of Kansas on my way to Kansas City. It's evening time and the sun's about to go down and it's getting darker and darker. Then the sun goes down completely and I'm driving and it's very dark and there's barely any cars in the road. And then all of a sudden this creature jumps in front of my car and goes flying across the street into a cornfield. I was screeching on my brakes, just terrified at the sight of it. I've never seen anything like that in my life. These creatures have been spotted all over the world, all over the United States. They've been known as the Rougarou, dogmen. It looked like a werewolf. That's all I could think of at the time, but over the years I've done a lot of research on them, pretty much known now as the dogmen. It was at least 7 feet tall, pitch black, very dark, very large teeth, like a canine, and its ears went straight up. When it was first jumping across, its ears were back, and then they perked up like a Doberman pinscher when it realized it was running in front of a car. Noticed my brakes screeching, and then once it passed, I put my foot on the gas and I wanted to get the heck out of there. I just kept going and going, and I had noticed that I was low on gas just before that had happened, and I was going to stop at the next exit, but I wasn't stopping at the next exit now. I wasn't stopping anywhere near that area, and so I kept going, figuring I can make it to the next exit at least. I just wanted to get out of there. And then thoughts of this creature just kept running through my mind, of how it looked, how big it was, how terrifying it was. I just couldn't get it out of my head. And then time got away from me and I realized that I had not stopped for gas. Yet again, the next exit wasn't coming up as fast as I thought it was going to. And next thing you know, I'm on the side of the road and I'm out of gas. And it's pitch dark outside and I'm pulled over, and all of a sudden I'm seeing all these shadow people, these creatures running to and fro, and in front of my car, right in front of my window, all around my car, and I have my little boy in the back, and I'm just terrified that they're going to do something to us. Something's going to happen, or maybe one of those other creatures that look like werewolves are going to come hurt us. I was shaking. I was terrified. I ended up calling 911 and then caught my senses for a minute going, you can't tell them that you're seeing shadow people and werewolves. They're not going to believe you. And I'm out of gas, so I'll just tell them I'm out of gas and I'm stranded. So I told them that, and this woman it was really weird. She was just super calm, which I know they're trained to do that, but it was strange. It wasn't like I was talking to a 911 operator. She said, he'll be there soon. And I was like, okay, and she let me go, which is unusual. She could tell how frightened I was and said, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. He'll be there soon. And so I hang up. And I'm sitting there waiting for a sheriff to show up to help me out. And so time goes by really slow. And I keep seeing these beings running around my car, running back and forth. They're just everywhere. And I'm waiting and waiting, and he's still not here. And so I start panicking again. And I call 911 back and said, well, do you know how long it's going to take him to get here? She never put me on hold. She just immediately said, he'll be pulling up in just a few minutes, is what she said, just like that. And I said, okay, are you sure? And she assured me. And then I hung up from there again. And no sooner did I do that, and he was literally pulling up behind me and gets out of the car and comes to the door and asks how I'm doing and if I needed help, and then took me into the car and my son and strapped him in. I get in the car and I sit down next to him. And when the door closes, it occurs to me that this man is illuminating. And something in my spirit just knew that he was an angel. I felt very uneasy. I feel extremely safe, but it's like my instincts were kicking in, and my spirit was telling me something, and I was trying to figure it out, and he could see my discomfort, and he engaged me in small talk, and I was telling him, about the spiritual warfare Bible study I was listening to on tape. Then we got into more conversation about people who'd had encounters with God and been in heaven, visited heaven. And then he said, have you ever heard of anybody who's visited hell? And I was kind of quiet for a minute because I had been. God had showed me hell once before. And he saw that and kind of smirked because he knew he was an angel. And then we continued the conversation about spiritual warfare. And then we get to the gas station. He gets out and pumps the gas for me. And there's literally nobody at this gas station. Nobody there. I don't even see an attendant. Okay? So he gets me the gas. And we continue having conversation all the way back to the car. And on the way back, he asks me where I'm going. And I tell him. And then he pauses. And he says, just remember, never go south. And in my spirit, when he said it at that moment, it's like in my head and in my spirit, he was telling me something at the same time. It's about the future. Do not go south. It was letting me know that in the future, the south is going to be really bad, like in my dreams that I've had, which I will be doing videos about as well. But the south was devastating. I didn't need to know all the reasons at the moment. I just knew in my spirit to not forget that. So then he gets out of the car, puts gas in my car, and me and my son get back in the car. And I tell him thank you. He leaves. I'm driving away, and I'm just can't stop thinking about everything that just happened. Oh, and he tells me, don't forget to get gas. Because, he knew I was going to be just spinning out of control with thoughts. So I was, trust me. And I kept going. And then all of a sudden I remember, I better stop and get gas. And so I stopped to get gas. And I decided I'm also going to get a motel or something for me and my son for the night. I had had enough. And so I get gas at this place. Again, there's nobody there. The strangest thing, there's no one around. This is very unusual for places like this off the highway. So I don't think too much of it. I just think it's unusual. And so then right across the street, there's a motel. So I go over to the motel. Still, looks abandoned. Everything about this place just looks abandoned. But I go in, and there's somebody at the front desk. I check in, and he gives me a key. And then I drive around looking for the room. The doors are on the outside of the motel. And when I go to park, I back in and I get out of the car, and all of a sudden the ground's moving. It feels unsteady. The asphalt is moving, swaying back and forth like I'm on a pile of lava or something, or that this is so hot that it's just flowing back and forth. Then all of a sudden I notice this screeching, like the highest pitch screaming, and I think, is there some kind of racetrack around here or something? I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, that's not a racetrack. Those are people screaming. And it is so pitch dark out there and just so eerie. Billions of people just screaming. Grab my son and I grab one of the bags and go into the motel real quick. And I sat there and realizing that this was a supernatural experience I was having, and sat there and opened the Bible and started talking to God and praying. And the Holy Spirit, and I believe the same angel, was there ministering to me the entire night. Just ministering to my spirit. It was one of the most unusual experiences I've had, and I've had quite a few in my life. And God never left me, and I knew that. Well, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.
I was off but now I'm on. I used to be lost, but now I'm found. Cause God got me now. And yeah, I fall down, but He won't let me drown. And yeah, I fall down, but He won't let me drown. No, He won't let me drown. No, He won't let me drown. Cause He's all around. I've I've been in the lost and found, but now I'm found. He told me I'm anointed, no need to force it. You're the only one appointed. Will you be my fortress? Don't wanna forfeit. I need to know my purpose so I can go get what you want me to be. I need to do what you need. I want what your will's for me. Yeah, can you set me free? I want these demons to flee. Don't want no bondage no more. I just wanna be in your arms, in your arms. Yeah, I just wanna be in your arms. Yeah, I was off but now I'm on. I used to be lost, but now I'm found, 'cause God got me now. And yeah, I fall down, but he won't let me drown. And yeah, I fall down, but he won't let me drown. No, he won't let me drown. No, he won't let me drown, 'cause he's all around. Yeah, yeah. Through the dark he remains. He's the name above names. He's the name of all names. He's the one I proclaim. He's the one who will stay.